kind enough to join us now. Let us talk to the champion, Aljamain Sterling. There he is, the Funk Master. How are you, sir? Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it. Congratulations, Aljamain, on the win.
Thank you, Ariel. I'm super happy about everything right now. Just I don't know. Life is good. Life is crazy. It's unexpected sometimes, and you work hard. Sometimes good things happen for you. Sometimes you work hard. Sometimes nothing happens for you. You just never know. And thankfully, things worked out in my favor. And fortunately for me, the judges were on my side and got it right.
I want to ask you about the judges in a moment, but can you tell us regular folk, months and months, I mean, the shape that you were in, all the media, like you were the headliner, right? You were the A-side, main event, pay-per-view, close to home, months and months and months, and it all crescendos, and you win, and it's like you're the talk of the town. What is the Monday after like? Could you even describe, like, how do you come down from this? What, like, could you put into words? I can't, like, it's probably like a natural high. What is that Monday after when you accomplish the goal, you did it, you succeed? And then, as I said to Dominic, not to go too long here, we had Dominic Cruz on earlier. 9 in a row now, 3 title defenses, 14 wins, the record. Like, you do all this. What is this Monday like for you?
Uh I mean, I'm definitely on top of the world right now, 100%. I mean, can't deny that. But it's another day above ground, and that's the most important thing. And it feels good to be the king. And at the end of the day, man, I feel like people need to just get over it and realize like that first Jan fight is such a thing in the past. We are here now. Look at everything I've done now. Look at all the things I've done in the past and look at the body of work and appreciate that for what it is. Because when I'm done, man, you guys are gonna be like, oh, that guy was actually a lot better than what we actually thought. Like you watch these other guys and see how competitively close it is. I just beat who people were dubbing as the greatest combat athlete of all time. So what does that make me? Guys, it's time to just get used to this face because we ain't going nowhere, baby.
I know you're locked in on what the people are saying online, especially. Are you getting the love? Are you feeling the love from the people?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's still some people out there that's going to say the stuff that they want to say, but at the end of the day, I can't control that. I'm going to just keep doing what I do, and that's working on what I need to work on. I never once came out and said, guys, I'm this striker. I'm going to be just knocking guys out left and right. And then I go and I do something else. I always tell you what the game plan is going to be. I plan to take you down. I plan to drown you on the ground, and that's it. I had a really tough opponent in Henry Cejudo. He's a 2 division champion for a reason. Man, that guy's fight IQ, making the adjustments he was making in real time with me, it was like as if I made an advancement, he made an advancement for my advancement, and then I would have to make an advancement for his advancement. And that's how back and forth of a chess match this was. And I don't think people really understand the brilliance of that unless you were in there. That you have to almost feel that energy to see what I'm talking about. Because there was things that the coaches were telling me, and then I went back and I looked at it a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I saw that opening there, but there was a reason why I didn't do what they were telling me to do. Is because of what Henry was also doing at the same time. And I got to give him some respect for that. But I think I did the universe a favor and ending the cringe. So
what impressed you most about him?
his fight IQ. If there's one thing I could definitely be very complimentary of, he's a competitor. He didn't quit. He was there the whole time. I know there was some a little bit of a bias criticism with my takedown entries and things like that. People don't understand like the takedowns aren't always necessarily meant to like get a takedown. Like, yeah, if I could shoot and be 100% with my takedowns, that would be great, but that's not realistic. I know there's going to be moments where I have to shoot and the guys are going to defend it. They're going to have good hips. They're going to see it coming kind of thing. And with that being said, it's up to me to use that to now do what? It's almost like a feint. If I feint and then do nothing after, it's like, oh, what was the point of the feint? But now if I shoot and you defend and you sprawl hard, now you bite on that feint of my takedown. Now I'm setting that up. Now you have to be conscious of me shooting, and you got it in the back of your head, like I don't want to be down on the ground again. You know what I mean? So there's a method to the madness, and I would like for the commentary to be a little bit more cognizant of some of the things that they're saying, like, oh, he's using up a ton of energy. I'm like, guys, I wouldn't do it if I didn't train to this is a 5-round fight against a legend. You guys think I'm going to come out there and gas myself out? You guys think this is Piotr Jan Aljamain Sterling 1? That ain't never going to happen again. That was a once in a lifetime hiccup of me not eating before the fight. And that would never, ever, I would never be that stupid enough to make that mistake again. That would just be on me at that point. I'm just a bonehead. So yeah, I give him respect with that. a lot of high level stuff. I know I had the crazy reach advantage, and I knew that was going to play a big factor in my favor. And I knew he was smart enough to get inside where he needed to. And he was even telling me to like throw the kick again so that he could time it. Cause I knew that he was preparing for that and did a lot of things in preparation for my front kicks and stuff like that. So we had to be very cognizant and split second decisions. So I had to make sure that I was just on my P's and Q's the whole time with him.
He was telling you this in the middle of the fight?
He was kind of like giving like these head nods. Like I would throw the body kick and spam it to the body. And it kind of reminds me of Javante Davis and I think Santa Cruz when they fought, and he threw the same right hand like 3 times in a row. And Javante Davis just goes like, "Why would you do the same move 3 times? Like is that's like the dumbest thing you could do?" And then it's kind of like that. So I'm doing it. He's kind of like, "Yeah, like egging me on to like throw it one more time to see what happens. Like fuck around and find out." I had to make sure like I had to like play that game a little bit with him. So it was definitely a high level battle. I would appreciate maybe even fighting him again, to be honest, because part of it still makes me feel like I like to be dominant, and maybe there's a part of me that wants to like do it in a way where I finish him. Because I know if I took him down earlier, when I got those positions where I got to his back, when I got the wrist control and collected, if I had more time, or not even had more time, if I'd done it early in the round, I think the fight's over. If I didn't give it that first round takedown and have to battle back, and I got the takedown first before he did, that sets the tone, and probably the fight's over right there also. So there's sequences where it's like, man, these little battles of brilliance from both of us really dictates the rest of the outlook of the fight. And that's what fighting is all about. And that's why it's such a beautiful sport.
So you've watched the fight?
Not the whole thing.
Okay.
The main one I watched so far was round 5 before I came on here, because I've been kind of celebrating, enjoying the spoils of my my labor a little bit, and I got to watch round 5 because even in round 5 I felt like I still won it, even though I thought I did more. But I watched it, I was like, the strike count was relatively even. I landed the spinning back kick to the face where he got his hands up at the last second that pushes him all the way back. But I don't know, it's more impact than like physical complete damage, like a shot that sits versus something that's pushing, or versus something where your opponent is moving and you're pushing them with the momentum, so it looks more impactful. So there was a lot of that he was doing that it looked like it was hurting me more than what it actually was. And he got the takedown where he grabbed the single and threw me on my ass a little bit. So I was like, I guess you could kind of give him that round, but it was a close round. So that was the main one I was really concerned about. But other than that, I thought the other ones, like hands down, like maybe round 3 you can give him. But other than that, I thought I definitely won the fight. Like there was not a doubt in my mind that I won that fight easily, 3-2 with the argument of a 4-1.
Okay. You get the moment. It's great. How do you feel about them bringing Sean in the cage immediately afterwards?
Well, I mean, we did sign over the WWE, right? So I
Yeah.
guess that's what we're doing now. So I don't know. I at that moment, it's normally to build the next fight anyway. So I think we did and accomplished what we were trying to
Hell
do.
yeah.
So yeah, so at the end of the day, it's kind of like it did its job, it served its purpose. I would have liked to have gotten to say some of the things I wanted to say, thank some of the people that I would have liked to have thank. I didn't know Jersey was going to be rooting against me like that at the end. It was like, damn, what's
Yeah.
going on? Like I fought for you guys how many times, and now you guys are cheering for Henry. Like, what is going on? Like, what world are we living in that now the world is rooting for Henry in like pretty much my backyard? Crazy.
Well, I was just, I think you 1,000% sold the fight. I think it's going to be used a million times whenever you guys fight, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I was just wondering if you felt at all like it took away from your moment. It's, sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. And I don't know if they boo you afterwards if that moment doesn't happen. So I just didn't know if you were annoyed at all by it.
You think they booed me because he came in the
I
cage?
think it was more because of him, yeah. Meaning Sean is such a popular fighter, and then there was that
Yeah.
whole exchange, and they're like, "Oh, you're the guy fighting Sean? Okay, now we're gonna boo you." Like, I don't know. That's how I took it. Maybe you feel otherwise. I didn't think it was a Henry thing over you, to be honest.
Well, I don't know. I felt like they started booing a little bit, or maybe the clash of boos and cheers for the decision. Maybe that's what probably was hard to hear and like decipher between. But maybe that is why, because Sean is like, I don't know, every young teenager's dream for some reason. It's like weird. It's like I got colorful hair, I got tattoos on my face, I smoke weed, I make funny videos, I'm tall, I'm the Sugar Show. And did I tell you I smoke weed? Yeah, bro. Podcast and streaming.
But it will be. I mean, do you agree that would be business wise? That'll be the biggest fight of your career, right? So far.
Biggest fight of my career is this fight with Henry Cejudo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, biggest fight in terms of
A
like
business. I'm
monetary
talking about business.
value.
Yeah, business.
In terms of business, yeah, I guess maybe Sean will probably be the biggest fight. And I'm saying that because he thinks he draws these huge numbers, but I was on the same pay-per-view card that he was on, and the number did the same amount that we did with Volkanovski. It did less than we did with Volkanovski in Jacksonville with the Piotr Jan rematch. So it's like, well, I don't know how much of a draw you really think you are there, buddy, but maybe we need to slow down on all that chirping over there about how much buys you're going to get and generate. Like, we really don't know because the UFC doesn't show us those numbers. So it would be cool to know if him being a headliner, maybe that the fans will buy in more because of that specific reason. But how are we supposed to know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What are we
Okay.
judging? Like, we don't, like me, you, we don't have that metric to look at to go, yeah, for sure, Henry's O'Malley's a draw, but he is popular on social media. And I think in terms of a fan base, like take pay-per-view out of it, this is definitely a popular fight, especially with kids that are young, that are going to be growing up while we're fizzling out of the sport as older people. I'm 33. So by the time I'm like 40, 45, those younger kids who are watching Sean now are going to be those guys who are going to be fans coming up. So it's cool to see that shift in the age group and the demographics. So that's the way I kind of look at it. So yeah, those kids that are watching him, the fans of him, it's going to be good for eyeballs in that sense. And I look forward to that because it'd be cool to have a younger crowd that knows what's going on with the fight world and what you have done in your career as well.
What about your boy Merab? What can you say about that move he pulled?
He looked good in that jacket, right?
Yeah.
Man, Sean gave him the jacket. He was just, keeping it warm for him, So Sean gave him the jacket. He kept it on. It looked good. He thought it fit better on Merab. So Merab's like, Merab's going to do Merab, jump on the cage and flex a little bit.
What a guy. This morning, I don't know if you saw it. You might have been sleeping or whatever. Henry said he wants Merab in August. How do you feel about that? As Merab's friend, like, is that a fight that he should take? Is that a fight that I would assume you think he wins, but how do you feel about that idea?
About the idea, I don't think it's a bad idea, but I mean, it's either he fights him or he fights Sandhagen. So either way, it's still a tough fight no matter what. So it just depends on which one, I guess, makes the most sense for Merab. But I think it's a great fight either way. And then he was talking shit about me, and he's talking shit about Merab. So it's be a great opportunity for Merab to smash him too, and just remind, like, I think Merab smashes him, and then it's just gonna be that much more salty people out there because they're gonna be like, "Oh, what did you, his bodyguard? You're just gonna keep beating everybody." And then, hey, what do you want? We're the two best guys in the division. What do you want from us?
Do you
We're just
feel?
doing our job.
Do you feel like it came out that the UFC offered Merab Umar Nurmagomedov right after his win over Jan, which
Yes.
I think Umar is incredible, but I don't know on what planet he's done anything to deserve a fight against Merab, especially on such short notice. And now if this Henry thing becomes a thing, like, do you feel like there's any part of them that is kind of punishing him because he was so open about not fighting you? They don't like that sort of thing, as you know. Do you feel like they're trying to, like, paint him in a corner?
I mean, yes and no. Umar he does need a fight, and
Yeah, but like the number
UFC.
two guy, like, he's not even
No,
ranked.
no, no. I know. I'm just covering.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying in terms of like what they can try to
Sure,
say.
sure, sure.
This is how we're seeing it. It's like, well, he does need a fight. He won't fight for the belt. So do we keep giving him contenders? And at the same time, I've already voiced my opinion that I'm going to go up a weight class. So it's one of those things where you guys never offered him the title shot. So for you to not offer him the title shot, then try to say that you're going to punish him because, and not really punish, but say you're going to make him fight backwards. Um, there's nothing set in stone that you guys said, like, for sure, you gave O'Malley the shot. Oh, he's definitely the next guy. Okay, you gave him that. So for him to sit and wait, it's okay. But for Merab, it's in the same situation where they didn't offer him that opportunity. So now that they're offering the opportunity, because I heard Dana saying that if he would fight Aljamain, he would get the next shot over O'Malley kind of thing. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Now that you guys are actually saying that, that makes it more of a real thing for him. So now I do what I'm supposed to do. I take care of this. I go up to 145. Merab has his opportunity to fight whoever they're going to have. I guess, who would he fight at 35 at that point? Because if they give me Sean and I crush him and stuff him in the lunchbox, what's like who's gonna be left for Merab to fight? They're gonna do a vacant title. It's a weird spot, you know.
Okay. What about the weight cut? You just mentioned it. I noticed on Friday you were like, man, that one was a little tougher. You said something like that. How hard was it?
Well, the hotel, the air conditioning in the workout room, they fucked that up really bad, man. Our room was constantly fluctuating between hot and cold. It took me an hour and a half longer to cut the weight than it normally does. And I was pretty pissed off about that because normally I'm like the first guy on the scale. I'm dehydrated a lot short of our time period. And it just doesn't go, it doesn't take as long. Like I literally did my mummy wrap and I was barely sweating. Like people can check out the YouTube channel and see the stuff that I was doing, but the sauna blanket, it's where you sweat the most, but you also drained so much out of your body. So you keep the sweat, you break the sweat, you're sitting there, you torture yourself for a bit, then you mummy wrap and you keep the heat in, you keep sweating, but now you're able to breathe. You're not in such a hot environment, but it's hot enough where you're sweating. Where I was coming out into the mummy, and then yeah, my body was hot, but the environment wasn't hot enough to keep the sweat going, and it just made it so much harder for me to lose that weight. But you know, I always make the weight, and yeah, it was definitely rougher than it was because I started my weight cut at 5:30 a.m. compared to when I do half of it the night before or more than half the night before, and finish up the rest in the morning, like a pound or two. So yeah, it was definitely a bit more challenging to kind of figure out, but it worked. My condition looked great. I know Henry said he's gonna make me pay for every last ounce that I had to cut. And I was like, dude, if you're really banking to win this fight because of cutting weight, which has never been an issue for me, is like, I don't know. That's the wrong mentality to go into. You need to beat me because you're better. And I got to prove that, you know, I'm the better guy.
So are you saying definitively all goes well against Sean? That's it for you at 35. Then you're moving up.
That's the plan. I think I have a good size frame to go up to 45. I really do. And even with these performances, I think I could get a little bit more out of the gas tank going up a weight class as well. And I think I have the reach, 71-inch reach. I'm lanky. I could get a little bit thicker, and I can enjoy the second half of my career a little bit more. And we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, sometimes these things go well for people, sometimes they don't. So that's just the way it goes. You know, we're gonna take a chance and see what happens, and hopefully, I can still have at least some kind of success at 45, where I can have a balance where I can still work, make money, have fun fights, and not torture myself. And I could be able to be a little bit more active, and also give my friend a good opportunity to fight for the belt.
If your friend wasn't that close to a title shot, would you be this close to moving up, or do you feel any kind of pressure to give him this shot and say like, okay, let me just do this? In other words, you know what I'm saying? Like if he wasn't
Yeah,
there,
yeah, no,
do you?
I follow you. No,
I feel
it's a
like it's a
little bit
very
of both.
noble thing that you're doing, but I also wonder if you're just being a good friend.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It's definitely made it more of a how would you call that decision? It's definitely more of a decision because of that, and also because of the weight cut, it being hard. It's just I've been making 135 since 2011, man. It's just been a long time, dude.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like that. Like you see a lot of these guys who try to go down later in their careers and then they come back up to the weight class that they were up at before, and they're just like, yo, it's just not worth it. So eventually it gets to that point where it catches up to you. So at some point, you know, it's gonna catch up to me. So I think this is the perfect time for me to try, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's a little bit of pressure of that. And I don't want to be the guy standing in his way for him realizing a dream as well. You know, if it was one of those things where he wasn't even close to that position or something, then maybe I stick around and just see how the fights go. I just take it one fight at a time, and I think that's the best way to look at it. You start thinking about all these other things, and that's where mistakes happen. Yeah, what I say, I laid out my plans, and people would say, "Oh, Sterling's delusional. He's not getting past Henry. He's Volkanovski. He'll rip him a new asshole." Like they start saying all these crazy things. I'm like, guys, you guys have no ambition, no desire to do anything great. Don't try to shit on the people that are actually trying to chase greatness. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between me and the commoner. We are different than the majority of the masses out there. We're doing something that it's honestly insane. I still think what I do for a living is absolutely crazy, but it's what life is all about, taking challenges and chasing something, right? So if I want to try to push myself to new heights and new challenges and new goals and new milestones. Like, let me do that. If you don't think I could do it, you could be okay with telling me that. I'm okay with someone saying like, yeah, I think it's gonna be tough, but telling someone they can't do something, I can never be that person to tell you like there's absolutely no way unless you're the guy signed on the dotted line against me. And now you know what I mean? Other than that, I'm like, yo, shoot for it, man. Why not? Why not take the chance? You're never gonna find out unless you actually give yourself an opportunity. So that's what it is. I did one of the things already on that list. Next is O'Malley. That's gonna be the second one on the list. And then we're coming up for either Volkanovski or Yair Rodriguez. So in that order, that's where everything is at. And just bookmark this, man. Bookmark what I said before I fought Henry. Check and bookmark the next ones. Just follow along with the journey, man. It's gonna be a special one, and I look forward to becoming champ.
He didn't say it's 100%, but definitely seemed to be leaning in that direction. Boston in August. That's 3 months and change away. How do you feel about that turnaround?
Who's he?
Dana White, sorry.
Well, we haven't spoken yet. So I said September in my call out because I think that would be more than enough time and more than fair after doing a 5 round training camp. And I think that people are asking for active champions, and I think I've been more than active. I mean, last year alone, I fought in April after coming off of a neck surgery, 13 months out away. And I came back, turned it around, fought in the end of October. We were supposed to fight in August. Then they pushed it to September. Then they pushed it to October. So that wasn't on me. So I was gonna go from April to August. It didn't happen. It went from April to October. Turned it around. Now we're in May. We're supposed to fight in March. It didn't work out because of my bicep. I healed up from bioaccelerator with the stem cells. We fought now. Got to beat up the fake Mexican for Cinco de Mayo on my para mi gente. So all my Mexican people, one love, baby. I ended the cringe for you guys. That was for you. Now we no longer triple C, he's double C. And it should be 1C now because I took his Olympic gold medal with winning the wrestling match with
Oh,
more
right,
takedown.
right. Yeah.
Henry, where's my gold medal, baby? Where's that gold medal? And yeah, I think a turnaround in September is more than fair. And if I could do it again and maybe fight in December, that's a crazy schedule, but I'm trying, and I only get paid like this when I fight. So why would I not want to be more active? I want to be out there. I'm finally somewhat healthy, and I want to make the most out of my prime years while everything is sharp, like while the mental is connected with the physical, and I can keep going out there and adding some wins to the column.
Sean says you don't have much of a choice. What is your response to that?
Sean doesn't have a say in anything. He listens to Daddy Dana. He's going to do as Daddy Dana says. So, Sean, I know you're out there watching right now. How I look? Because I'm going to look good whooping that ass, baby. I'm going to look good whooping that ass. September, I know he's like, oh, keep your weight down. Don't get too big. Shut up, man. All these guys crying about my weight. Like, eat more food, lift more weights. Stop bitching about me, dude. Like, fucking get off my jock, dude. We fight. I make the weight. I show up. Like, what are you bitching about? Like, shut up. 5 rounds. I think this is gonna be O'Malley's first 5 round camp. So let's see how he looks in a 5 round fight in a 5 round training camp. Let's see how he feels. And I don't think this fight's really going past 1 anyway. So I know he was saying I don't need to really train because I'm gonna stop him. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fold you up in 1. I just need you to make 1 mistake. Throw 1 bullshit kick. Throw 1 miscalculated punch where I slip. I get my head inside, lock my hands, dude. You ain't Henry Cejudo. You ain't locking me down, taking me down early in the first round and making me have to fight to my back to my feet. Dude, I'm gonna Khabib that ass so good, man. I cannot wait. It's and I don't want to say easy money because I could easily get slept, and I'm very, very cognizant of that. With just the way he's super accurate, But I think my IQ, my training, I should be able to see everything coming, and I just know stylistically, just how strong I am physically in that clinch position. I get there, I know I'm going to take him down, take his back, and I'm probably going to flatten him out and beat the shit out of him.
Dana say anything to you after the fight?
And Sean, thanks for being respectful to my fiance and my mom. I do appreciate that. That was very nice of you.
Yeah.
I do respect a good bloke.
Yes, yes. He did say, he said your mom was very lovely. He gave props to your fiance. He said he was even like telling your mom that everything was going to be okay. It seemed like he was a gentleman.
He was being a little mensch.
Yeah, he was being a mensch. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Did Dana say anything to you afterwards?
No, Dana and I didn't. We didn't talk yet, but I would imagine probably some conversation within the next week or two. Figured he probably wants to let me at least take some time to smell the roses a little bit, which is nice and respectful. And now I'm just kind of just working on those outside ventures that I've been trying to do every single time. The rum company, working on the YouTube channel. I appreciate him also saying that my YouTube channel is definitely better than Cejudo's. Yes, I do breakdowns as well, and I know he was like, "This is a jab. Look at that jab. Wow." I don't do breakdowns like that. My YouTube channel is way more. Whatever. I let the fans be the judge. I think we do a pretty good job.
No,
I'm
yeah,
not here.
yours is more like you're giving like more like show type stuff as opposed to breakdown. So that was kind of my mistake for asking which one was better at breaking down. But it seems like he knows your stuff, so he's got love.
Yeah, I'm sure he watches. I'm sure Sugar
Yeah, yeah,
watches.
yeah.
Sugar Boogie, you Sugar Boogie, you. But yeah, I got the rum venture. I got these guys who are out here from England. We're gonna meet today, and we're gonna do like some rum tastings to get the flavor profile. So we're moving, man. I got the label design, the bottle design. We got some things in the works already. So if there are any serious investors out there, we are gonna do a couple of rounds of funding in the very beginning. So people want to get on board. I think it's gonna be a great product because I don't get behind shit. And what do you guys think about the entrance? Because I had my song in there in the walkout,
Yeah.
and the place was rocking.
Yeah.
Like, and no disrespect to my boy T Wood, but I know people were trying to say, "Oh, don't be T Wood." I'm like, no, I came out to my own song and I got the W, man. It's about preparation. I prepared.
By the way, did you get a chance to smell the roses? Like you talk about smell, like I saw you take a picture outside of the Prudential Center with your, like the poster there and everything. Like, did you feel like you got a chance to smell and enjoy the whole process while you're cutting weight, doing all the media, all that stuff?
Yes, a little bit. But it was fight week, I'm
Yeah.
in a different mindset. But afterwards, get to take it all in with the arena. Babe, can you pass the charger, please? For the laptop. And yeah, for the most part, like I still don't feel like it really even kick in yet because I'm like, yo, man, I beat the most top five guys in this division to ever get to a title shot. I'm still beating top five guys. I beat four former world champions. I got the most straight wins in a row. I got the most wins in the bantamweight division. Part of me almost wants to be like, yo, stop being humble and just say, fuck the bullshit and screw everybody. But that's not really my persona. As much as I would like to be like, yeah, I'm the evil Kermit, put the evil Kermit hat on. But that's not really me, man. I'm just doing me, living life and one fight at a time, So I'm just making history and we're gonna keep getting better, keep doing things better. I do gotta clean up my striking a little bit more. And I don't even say like it's ugly. I think there was just a couple things I just was a little bit hesitant on that made me look a little uncertain in there. And I want to make sure that doesn't happen with Sean because, like I said, he's a sniper, and I got to make sure that I don't get caught slipping. And that's the best. That's the best I can really say.
Are you the greatest bantamweight of all time?
I don't know, Ariel. What do you think? Do you think I'm the greatest bantamweight of all time?
I hate doing the greatest thing in the midst of someone's career. Like I always feel
Exactly.
like we got to wait. But maybe you're talking about evil Kermit. Maybe you have a different take. I feel like I
I'm a
feel
clown, bro.
yeah, no, I know. But maybe you feel otherwise. Maybe you feel like you've done it. I mean, I certainly I just read a resume there that gives you a lot of juice in that argument.
Yeah, I think it's up for debate, but what does Dom have in the WC plus the UFC? Would that be 5 or 6?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't want to misquote, but to me, the answer to the question, I will be honest, has always been Dominic. Like for the longest time, because I think he put the division on the map. He was the face of the division. We forget about the WEC days, what he did. Now, obviously, he wasn't as active because of the knee injury, but his longevity, I think, is super impressive. I've always said
Yes.
Dominic is number one. Would have loved to see you versus him, like in your primes, obviously. But I think you're on your way now. I just wonder. I wonder if your plan comes to fruition, where you move up to 45. Do you hurt yourself in that argument, right?
Possibly, but I think I'm still in that conversation regardless.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
yeah. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be a bad thing, a negative. And I think if things don't go my way, like even if I come back and I just fight at bantamweight, I'm not fighting for a belt, and Merab is out there terrorizing everybody. I think I still add to my legacy because I'm going to still be beating high level guys because that's just how stacked and deep the bantamweight division is. And so, I don't want to count my chickens before the egg hatches.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Just take it one fight at a time and see what happens after that. And then we could kind of come back here and maybe in 3 or 4 years and see what people think when it's all said and done. Stats speak, this is all about the stats. I fought these guys when they were pretty much at the best of their best. Like I wasn't fighting guys at the tail end of their careers and things like that. So I think there's something to be said about that as well. But at the end of the day, people are going to have their own rubric and criteria for that. And it is what it is.
Um,
I'm just happy to ever be considered in that conversation. I think to be up there with Dom, someone who I've watched for a very long time, getting the opportunity to train with him, pick his brain a little bit. Um, I'm happy, man. I'm blessed. That's all I can say. I'm truly blessed. And as my Muslim friends will always say, inshallah,
that's right.
if it's God's will, it's God's will.
Last thing, you made your amateur debut in May of 2009. You beat a guy named?
Vincent Morales.
That's right, at a New York regional event. And then you made your pro debut in April of 2011 at Universal
Morristown,
Combat
New Jersey.
Championship against?
Sergio da Silva, R.I.P.
That's right. And by the way, kind of crazy you just saying that. I believe the Fighter Hotel was in Morristown. So talk about full circle, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you made your debut.
I talked about that. Yeah.
Crazy. That guy in Morristown in 2011, would you have believed all of this? If someone said it would play out like this, Cejudo, like Olympic gold medalist, taking him down 4 times, the 3 times, or have you officially exceeded all your expectations in this sport?
I think I definitely exceeded my expectations. I always believed I could be a champion. I came up short in the wrestling world twice. And fortunately for me, this was a different outlet for me to, in my eyes, feeling like a loser, even though I wasn't really a loser. I was a 2-time All-American, but I felt like there was just more a hunger for a burning desire to do something else. And it was to try out for the Olympics. But I just didn't know if that was going to pay the bills. I knew there was a very competitive ladder, especially with the D1 guys. It would have been I would I would have had a high hill to climb. MMA was still young at the time. I knew I could get ahead with my wrestling and my creativity. Unfortunately for me, it just worked out this way. So I had a good mentor in John Jones at the time. Even though him and I weren't like super close, um, if I ever reached out, it might take him a while, but he would eventually get back and give me some like feedback if I ever saw him or things like that and kind of thing. So um, it still counts to some degree, but I had role models to kind of look at, to aspire to be like, or people that were from around where I was from, and like Ally Quinta, Chris Weidman, and things like that. Like that helped kind of groom me to where I am today.
Yeah, what a run, man. And it continues. Congratulations. Very happy for you. One of these days, you got to come back in studio, my man. I mean, we were talking before, but it would be nice. If you're ever in the city, let us know, all right? We're not that far away.
No, I'd be down. Maybe even next week. We'll see. And I was gonna say, I just want to give my respects to Henry Cejudo for being a great competitor as well. For him and his team, like the whole thing with the antics. At the end of the day, like it's one thing if the fighters are talking shit to each other because we're gonna actually fight, but when the teammates are like mean mugging and doing stuff and acting as if they're going to attack somebody in the team or even myself, I get a little bit more defensive and on the edge because now I do with that New York vibe feel just where I come from. Like when people do stuff like that, you call them out on it, you check them, and it's like, yo, what are you trying to do? So it wasn't more so about them getting in my head. It's more about be respectful, man. Like there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. If the guy wants to be a clown and be the cringe and be whatever and be the heel, let him do that. But we're not gonna actually fight. Eric Alberson, we're not gonna freaking fight. For you to be saying shit like make him piss blood, I'm like, how about I make you piss blood? You know what I'm saying? How about my coaches make you piss blood? We don't act like asshats and clowns. Have some damn respect for yourselves and your team and carry yourselves like that. You could be winners and still do your shit and not have to be complete dickheads, So that was my whole thing with that. And thankfully, I got a good response in that. It's like the people who always cry wolf as soon as you actually retaliate and smack them in the face for saying something smart when they're not the ones that are getting in there with you, They want to now press charges and things like that. So I had to make sure that was known and stick up for all the people that those guys do all that shit to, because it's fucking annoying. It's like it's one thing that if we're gonna fight, okay, cool, but we're not gonna fight. You're not gonna fight my teammates, but you're sitting there heckling them as if they won't smack you. You know what I mean? And if they do smack you, now what we're gonna do? We're gonna end up in a brawl, and that's what's gonna happen. So now you're gonna scrap the whole fight because your teammates are being complete douchebags. Like there's a place and time for everything. Other than that, I think I did the universe a favor in finally shutting up Henry Cejudo. You guys can thank me later. by going to my Venmo and donating to Aljamain Sterling.
Wow, that is incredible. But and it was nice though to see you guys afterwards. By the way, it seemed like you were cool. I mean, despite that last statement there, right? It seemed like there was love between you guys afterwards. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, he's a competitor. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, like I said, I meant it. At the end of the day, I have to crush another man's dreams to achieve my own. And that's what this sport's about, you know. So it could be a very violent and dark place for a few minutes, but after that, and it's all said and done, we could go our separate ways. And I don't have an issue with the guy, like personally.
Right.
And I think he's a little odd. I do find him funny, Henry. I do find him funny because some of the stuff he does is like quirky and weird, but it's kind of funny. I guess that's what cringy means. Is like fake funny, but I don't know. People have a definition for cringe, whatever. But yeah, he doesn't bother me outside of that. It's just he signed the dotted line. That was the guy I'm supposed to fight, and when you sign that, it's like it's you or me, man. That's the mentality.
Did Captain Eric say anything to you afterwards? Did he apologize?
No, I I don't know, Santino. I hope I didn't botch that. Him and Eddie, I think I seen him on the way out, and I kind of gave him a head nod, like congratulations, kind of thing, and they said what the same thing, kind of thing, and that was it. I
Okay.
like Santini. He's like one of the cooler heads out of them, and
Santino
Eddie Chow,
DeFranco.
DeFranco, him
Yeah.
and Eddie
Eddie
Chow.
Chow. Yeah.
Eric is cool too, but he's this whole buildup. He was kind of a douche, and keep that same energy, man.
Well, you got the last laugh with that D3 wrestling, 4 takedowns.
Wait, I just got paid on Venmo. Yo,
No way.
Yeah, they give me $2. Yeah, I'll take it.
Hey, not bad.
Buy my beer. Thank you, guys.
So what is it?
Seriously, I'm gonna buy a beer with that. Thank you, guys.
Aljamain Sterling? Is that it?
Aljamain Sterling. Yeah, that's it. I guess this is the way that we can get paid if we're not going to get paid points, right?
That's right. That's right. But you got pay-per-view for this, no?
No, I'm just
Okay.
saying, like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
would be a good way. That's actually a cool way to actually give like if we don't get the fight of the night bonus,
Yeah.
we're going to give you like 50 cents, like kind of like a buying, like, yo, great fight. You get that couple thousand people who give you 50 cents or $1. That goes a pretty long way, man.
If you enjoyed the fight, if you made money off this man, send him $1 or $2, right? I mean,
Oh, I like that.
Right?
If you made money off me, send me that money, man.
That's right.
Aljamain Sterling Venmo or Funkmaster Corp on Cash App.
Amazing. Thank you, Aljo.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Congrats.
Peace.
There he is, Aljamain Sterling, accepting Venmo or Cash App.